showing them the pictures. When we watch our film work, we're getting on the floor and we're going over it over and over again and expressing to them how important it is to play with force, play with pace, to continue to share the ball, just make the simple plays over and over again. And I thought BI set the tone early in the game for us.
500 now on the road. How important is that to be able to perform away from this Pelicans center to where you want to go down the road? It's
extremely important. The good teams, the solid teams, the good teams, the great teams, they can go and win on the road. And this is a really good road trip for us.
You say show them the pictures in film. What do you mean by that?
So the pictures are, we'll show them what we look like when we're doing it right, when we have our spacing, when we're playing with force, playing fast, advantage, no advantage. And we show them the pictures of what we look like when we don't, when it's kind of jumbled up. We don't know what we're in. And so just kind of having clarity on how we want to play on makes, on misses, after free throws, these different environments, and then getting on the floor and saying, okay, let's work on it.
You just alluded to Brandon's game in 3 threes in the first quarter. What do you think about his night overall?
Great night from BI and great to respond from the Charlotte game. He didn't have his best game in Charlotte. I know he was a little disappointed in that. So I love to see our guys respond the next night. And BI was big. He set the tone early for us, shooting open shots. And then when he does that, everything opens up for him.
4 wins in a row for you guys since Vegas. How much do you like the way your team has responded since after a little bit of that?
Yeah, it's a blessing to have a group of guys that care. And we're going to go through highs and lows throughout the course of the season, but these guys care. They care about each other. They care about getting on the floor and putting together their best performance. I go back to that moment. It wasn't our best. We know it. We were all disappointed. We worked extremely hard to put ourselves in that position, but the more important component to this is that the guys have responded, and we want to continue to have that resiliency throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, of course, the three-pointers jump off the page, but Z had 11 rebounds in the last game. He was hitting the offensive force tonight. You mentioned the word force a couple times. How much have you seen him kind of just pick up that on the force he's been playing?
We're getting better and better, and Z is a big factor to that. Like you said, he's playing with force. We're rebounding the ball on both ends. We can get out and play in the open floor. If the game slows down, it's a big-time luxury to have Z, who we can throw the ball to. Also JV, he settles us down offensively, and we make simple plays from the post. Thank you.
What's up, family? You hear Coach in there a little later tonight. The Pels come out with an excellent dub. First off, shout out to everybody in the chat. Excellent day to be a Pels fan. Excellent day to be a Saints fan too, man. We go 2 for 2 on this thing. We get an excellent win. Second most points in franchise histories as the Pels put the damn boot to the Spurs and kicked them the hell up out of there. You had excellent performances top to bottom from the whole team as BI led the way to get everything started early on. As you heard Coach say, he set the tone, and they played really unselfishly. This was an excellent exhibition of what the Pels can be when everybody is on one accord and basically hitting on all cylinders. So you got just me talking about the game. I think the lovely Lexxah is going to chime in at a certain point. Big Q is out tonight, y'all. But we're going to go ahead and look at some of these statistics, as you can see up here, with what's going on with the Pels, man, and how they got this victory, because it was an amazing one. I was pretty intrigued, man, watching this game, even though it is the Spurs. The Spurs are not a team where you would think we wouldn't win, but in the fashion that we were able to win the game, you can't say it wasn't impressive. Looking at it by the quarter, man, we do it again. We get another 40-point quarter, and we had 2 of them tonight. which allows us to score 146 points and then holding them to 110. But having two 40-point quarters in the second half and also putting up a 33-point quarter in the first quarter, that 28-point quarter in the second quarter, pretty solid as well, man. And as you look at the shooting splits for the Pels and the Spurs, we took 99 shots, hitting 55 of them. The Spurs took 94 shots, only hitting 40. Our field goal percentage was 55.6. Spurs 42.6. The 3-point line is where we did a lot of damage. 22 for 42 for the Pels at 50%. That's awesome. 15 3-pointers for the Spurs. They took 42 of them just like us. Hit at 35% clip. Free throw line. We got to the line 22 times, making 14 of them for a 63.6%. The Spurs got there 21 times, hitting 15 of them for 71.4. 71.4. Excuse me. Big Q normally do this, man. Getting used to reading these damn stats. Rebounds. We killed them on the boards, man. Normally when the Pels kill them on the boards, we get the dub. 52 of them things tonight. 39 for the Spurs. Offensive, we had 12. They had 9. Defensive, we had 40. They had 30. So assists was huge. 38 assists tonight, man. 38. That's awesome. To that 29, so they was doing their thing too. We did get 11 steals, though. They got 6. 3 blocks to their 6 blocks. 15 turnovers total for the Pels to their 13. 20 points off those turnovers and 16 points off the turnovers for the Spurs. Fast break points, 19-3. Points in the paint, 56-46. And they were leading in that at halftime. Fouls, we committed 19 of those to their 15 fouls. 1 technical foul. And the largest lead in the game, which was 40 points. Pels did their thing, man. Looking at these statistics, if I had to point out what would be the main thing that got us a victory tonight, I point to none other than the 3-point shooting, obviously. 22 3-pointers tonight. That's a franchise record. 22 of them things, man. And they came from, a bunch of different people, but CJ McCullough and B.I. led the way, man. They got it going early. And when you got them guys playing like they were playing, it just ignites the whole team. It creates matchup problems. You already got a matchup problem with Zion. Big V had a pretty solid game, even though he's in foul trouble early. And all of these things are going to open up the perimeter, man. So it becomes a pick your poison thing. And then you got Trey Murphy doing what he does. And, I don't know how you stop it, man. But 52% from the 3-point line, man. 22 of them things. That right there, that's going to get you a dub almost every time. It looks a lot reminiscent of what set the spark for the Pels, because this is pretty much how the Lakers were shooting on us in that in-season tournament. It's pretty similar stat line, man. Blew us out the water and had a very embarrassing loss, of which the Pelicans have now won 4 straight games since that loss. So they definitely heard the sirens. They heard the criticism. They found a way to step up, man. Starting with that Minnesota game, I knew it was going to be a major game for them. And this stretch would kind of define the season, because after you get embarrassed that way, it is what it is as far as it happening. But it's not about what happened. It's about what you do moving forward. And the Pels putting up another excellent win, man. Scoring 140 some odd points for, I think, the second time in a couple of weeks. Because we just put up 140 on somebody else. Had to go back and look at all the games to remember who exactly was. But if they can play like this, even though it was the Spurs, but this is a template for how to play, man. Keep the ball moving. See who has the hot hand, feed the hot hand, man. Play defense, play with force, energy, and effort, as coach says, and the sky's the limit. But let's look at the individual statistics and see how our guys fared out, man. Well, we'll start off with the losers, the Spurs. So they had Jeremy Sohan out there, Mr. Dyed Hair himself, was 1 for 7, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. 1 offensive rebound, 2 defensive rebounds, 3 in total, 4 assists, 1 steal, no blocks, no turnovers, and 5 points. Keldon Johnson played 32 minutes, 6 for 18, 0 for 4 from the three-point line, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 4 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive rebounds, 8 in total, 3 assists, 4 steals for him, 5 turnovers, and 13 points. Wimby, Mr. Victor Wimp Benyama, as Q likes to call him, 6 for 13, 2 for 6 from the three-point line, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 1 offensive rebounds, 12 defensive rebounds, 13 in total, 4 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks, 3 turnovers, and 17 points. Devin Vassell played 30 minutes, 5 for 13, 3 for 7 from three-point line, 0 for 1 from free throw line, 0 offensive rebounds, 2 defensive, 2 in total, 3 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 1 turnover, and 13 points. And I guess it's Michael Branham, I think that's his name. Played 30 minutes, 4 for 8, 1 for 3 from three-point line, 2 for 2 from free throw line, 2 defensive rebounds, 2 total, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, and 11 points. And they did get some action off the bench. You had Zach Collins with 16 minutes, 1 for 3, 1 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive rebounds, 5 in total, 2 assists, 2 points. I don't know how the hell you pronounce his name. Manicue? What is this? Sam Manicue? Sandro Menkonsophilus, all that. But anyway, he only played 8 minutes, 1 for 4, 0 for 3 from three-point line, 2 assists, 2 points in total. Then my man Champagne, I'm messing everybody's name up. Julian Champagne. He was in the game for 15 minutes, 2 for 7, 1 for 5 from three-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds in total, 1 offensive, 1 defensive, an assist, and 7 points. I don't remember none of these guys. I know Devontae Graham and Trey Jones, but Osman, I think he played for Cleveland. C.D. Osman. He played 17 minutes, 5 for 7, 1 for 2 from three-point line, 3 for 4 from free throw line, 3 defensive rebounds, 1 turnover, and 14 points. Devontae Graham got in the game for 7 minutes. As soon as he got in, Jose said, I got him. That was funny as hell. 2 for 3 on a night for Devontae, all from the three-point line. He went 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 2 assists, and 1 foul. I ain't been naming nobody fouls, but he had 1 foul. Get all the way to the end until I name him. 7 points. And yeah, Trey Jones got in for 16 minutes, 2 for 5, 0 for 2 from three-point line, and 4 points. 5 assists, though. So that was the Spurs, the losers. And now we got the Pels. Getting to the starting lineup with Zion. Only played 26 minutes with 7 for 12 on the night, 1 for 4 from the free throw line, 0 for 1 from three-point line. Did like him taking that wide open shot. 5 offensive boards for Zion, 3 defensive, 8 on the night, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block for Big Z, 1 turnover, 2 fouls, and 15 points. B.I., the man of the hour, 27 minutes. And after a ho-hum performance, the other game where I believe he only had 8 points, B.I. came in the night with it on his mind. 10 for 17, 5 for 7 from the three-point line for B.I., man. He was out there hitting them things. 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 3 defensive rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover from B.I., and 26 points, giving him a plus 23 on the night. Excellent showing from B.I. Herb Jones was out there for 19 minutes, went 0 for 5, 0 for 3 from three-point line, 2 for 2 from free throw line, 1 offensive rebound, 3 assists, 1 steal, 0 blocks for Herb, so no, couldn't get them stocks tonight. And 2 turnovers. 2 points for Herb, man. A little bit of a weird stat line for him. He usually give us more than that offensively, but 146 points, can't argue with that. Yeah, Big V out there for 23 minutes with 6 for 13, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line, 2 for 3 from the free throw line, 4 offensive rebounds, 12 defensive rebounds, 16 of them things in total, 3 assists, one steal, 1 block, 1 turnover, and 15 points for Big V with 3 fouls. Herb had 3 and B.I. had 1 foul as well. C.J. McCullough, 26 minutes, 10 for 15, 6 for 7 from the 3-point line for the play of the game, C.J. McCullough. 3 for 3 from the free throw line. 0 offensive rebounds, but he did get 2 defensive. 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, and 2 personal fouls, and 29 points for Mr. McCullum, as AD calls him. Jones, Robinson, Earl did get in for 4 minutes, went 2 for 2 from the field, 1 defensive rebound, 4 points. Najee Marshall, who's playing really well as late, man, 4 for 6, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. High shooting from Najee, man. He's improved that shot. Way better 3-point shooter than he's been in the past. 3 defensive rebounds, 7 assists from Najee Marshall. 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, and 11 points. Cody Zeller got in the game for 18 minutes, as DJ was asking about him in the last show. They put him in, DJ. They must have been listening to you, bro. 18 minutes, 1 for 2, 1 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls for Cody, and 2 points. Jose Alvarado had a pretty good game tonight. 22 minutes, 5 for 7 from the field, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line for Jose, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 3 defensive rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, only 1 turnover for Jose, 16 points. Then you had Trey Murphy, Trigger Trey, man. 5 for 10 from the field, 2 for 5 from the 3-point line, 2 for 3 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, all defensive. He had 4 assists, 1 steal, 0 turnovers, no blocks, only 1 foul for Trey, man, 14 points. Jordan Hawkins got to play tonight, family. And he actually was out there in the lineup I saw with him, Trey, and Zion. I was excited about that. Didn't do a lot of damage tonight, but did like to see it, especially for the future. 12 minutes from Hawk, 3 for 6, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line, no free throws, only 2 rebounds, all defensive, and no turnovers from Hawk. Solid game, but only 12 minutes, and kind of put him in most of those minutes in garbage time. 7 points, though. And he did hit the 22nd 3-pointer of the game to go ahead and tie a franchise record for the Pels for most threes in a game by this team. Dyson Daniels also got in, played 18 minutes, 2 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 from the 3-point line, 1 offensive rebound, 3 defensive rebounds, 4 total, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, and 5 points from Dice. And with all the stats I done read off, I'm going to go ahead and let Lex chime in. Just seeing you, baby. Sorry it took so long to bring you in.
Oh,
But,
you good.
you could go over and give us your synopsis on the game. I done already went over the player stats and the team stats, so you could point out you feel free. You feel like you want to do, should I say?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good win. It was a win that they were supposed to get, obviously. They put their foot on the gas and they didn't let up off the gas, which is what they're supposed to do. It's balanced scoring. Had 7 players in double figures, not to mention a record breaking in 3-point shooting. But yeah, I think it was a solid game. Everybody kind of got theirs. I mean, this is a bottom feeding team. I mean, they're struggling, so everybody was able to get a piece of the pie against this team.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely looking at the bigger picture, because I'm always looking at the bigger picture, is that this is just something that everybody can grow from. get comfortable in what they can contribute during the game, and this just makes everybody better for when we play the better teams. Um, and I think that's just the biggest thing. Um, I said in the flash report that uh, the month of December is going to be a good month for the Pels. I mean, it's the easiest schedule, um, out of all other months. So this is going to be the easiest month. So this is a good way to take advantage of these opportunities, um, and just keep growing from here.
Most definitely, Lex. Uh, I'm wondering that too, Melanin Guy. Melanin Guy 504 say, where is Sean and Tasha at? They didn't make it tonight. But who would you say, what would you say, Lex, would be the number one reason why the Pels were able to play such an awesome game tonight? Let me see. I think you'd have muted yourself. You
Hello?
know? Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
I'm
There
here. Yeah, so I was clicking on it.
So
I was
I
like,
unmuted you and you muted yourself back, huh?
well, I was unmuting myself. Okay, whatever. What were you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying, who would you say, or what would you say was the number one reason why the Pels were able to play so awesome tonight?
Oh shoot! I mean, really, it was the ball movement. Um, the 3-point shooting. Obviously, I mean that was record breaking, but the shooting was on tonight. Ball movement was there. It got stagnant at times, but for the most part, they stayed moving the ball. But I think really this was a good collective win. So um, I really wouldn't pinpoint a person. I mean, obviously, CJ, he really got off. Um, Brandon, he did his thing. He rebounded from against Charlotte because he only had 8 points. But yeah, I just think it was a balanced attack from everybody. Everybody really contributed. I mean, there was 7 guys in double figures, which is really good. We got great production from the bench. Um, and we're gonna need that. I mean, it was just everything was just pretty much balanced. Really, just really can't really pinpoint anyone, but everybody did their thing to contribute to this win.
Most definitely, most definitely. I love to see games like this when we involve all of this talent that we have and kind of utilize all your guys, utilize them to the best of their ability. I like the fact that nobody got selfish really. Like I know a lot of times we like to play ISO ball. They had a point in the game where they were a little sluggish starting in the first quarter. And they just kept looking for each other, finding good shots because they were getting good opportunities in the beginning of the game. And they couldn't get nothing to go down, maybe like first 2 or 3 minutes until they started to get it going. But nobody had that mentality of just gonna play one on one, your turn, my turn, and that's the only downfall I see with this Pels offense. It's they kind of go into that ISO style of ball that they've played and been successful at, but with this new system of moving the ball, like you pointed out, Lex, I think this is the way to go. And every time we've won a game or looked extremely impressive, that's exactly what they've been doing. Didn't worry about um, who's making what, who hitting the shots, man, who open, and they take them. They, as Willie pointed out in the press conference, just repeatedly doing the simple things and making the simple plays over and over, and that leads to efficient basketball, less turnovers, 146 points, and another dub, man, as we have 4 of them. 4-game win streaks the Pels, 4-game winning streak the Pels are on right now. And in the month of December, as you pointed out, Lex, the easiest schedule, and we're 6-2. And that can get a lot better. But the next game, we are facing a little bit of a challenge. We will be facing the Memphis Grizzlies. And on top of that, you're like, oh, the Memphis Grizzlies ain't nothing. Well, John Morant is coming back. We still have an 82% probability from the matchup indicator. Shout out to the matchup indicator, finally showing us a little love of winning the game. And we got Desmond Bain, pretty much their leading scorer, as well as Jared Jackson Jr. He also burdens the heavy lifting for them, but Desmond Bain, 24 points, 46% on the season, 86% free throw shooter. And he also gets some 5 assists. At 3 turnovers a game. He plays 34 minutes, but they do have a few guys that are injured and out of the game. So you got Luke Kennard, probably their best shooter. He's out, but guess when his estimated return date is? The 19th, and that'll be on the day that we play them. So with our luck, Luke Kennard will sure be suiting up, as well as Mr. Marcus Smart. He's also has a status of out, and his estimated return date is December 19th, as well as Ja Morant. So this team will look like a totally different team once we play them. The Memphis Grizzlies, they're pretty much a scrappy team, as you can see, looking at how they play. They try to do a lot of things defensively because offensively they've been lacking, but they do take a gang of 3-point shots. So they take 38 3-pointers a game, They only make 12 of them, but they take 38 of them things. So we're going to have to contend with Jared Jackson Jr. in the interior, and I'm pretty sure they're going to try to implement some type of strategy of having 2 people on Zion as they've done in the past and try to make things difficult for him. But luckily for Zion, this is going to be a game where we're playing Memphis. We have B.I., we have CJ, we have Trey Murphy. They're fully stocked, but this will also be a very emotional game for the Memphis Grizzlies with the return of Ja Morant, man. I think it's going to be a real good and exciting game with the Memphis Grizzlies. They haven't been very good this year at all. But with Ja coming back, I think we're going to see him reinvigorated and fueled to be much of a different team. So what you say, Lex? What do you see us doing in this game? Do we get the dub? And how do we go about doing it?
Yes, we do get the win. And we do it by bringing the energy. Obviously, they're going to be rejuvenated a little bit by getting, obviously, Ja Morant back and other key players. But one thing is that we've been playing. Our guys have been out there. We do have an edge over that. Like, there's a difference between being in in-game shape and practicing. And obviously, Ja has been practicing with the team, but this is going to be his first game back. He's not going to be all the way 100. Just being, I mean, that's with anybody. And anytime guys come back from injuries, they're not in sync with the game all the way. We got to take advantage of that. I mean, obviously there's going to be some adrenaline, but we have to. I mean, we have a rhythm. The Pels have a rhythm, and they just got to go out there and put their foot on the gas, play with a lot of energy. Take it to them, be aggressive, be assertive. Push the pace, and just defensively show that prowess. on that end of the court. So I'm not really concerned because the thing is, they're not going to be all the way in sync. They're just not. Um, like I said, I think adrenaline will be there, but I think we will have an edge as far as conditioning and just just being more acclimated into the game. So I think that just kind of works on our behalf.
Most definitely, most definitely. Um, I think the biggest obstacle, as you've seen Melanin God pointed out, we just have such a horrible time playing in these primetime games. This is a TNT game, family. Although I think it's an early game though, so we don't have the premier slot. It's like 6 o'clock, 6:30, one of them. But still, nonetheless, it's a TNT game. We find a reason to always not want to show up in prime time. Hopefully that
I think that was just for the in season tournament.
you think
Because
so? I mean, but we
yeah,
got a
because
long history of this, Lex.
we've won on primetime games actually. I think this is just that against the Lakers, that was just the worst of all. Like it was bad, and because it's so recent, it's easy to say that we struggle, but we actually have won on a lot of primetime games. So um, I think this is going to be different. I think if that Lakers game wasn't a wake up call for this team, I don't know what's going to be a wake up call. Not only for the team, but for Zion in particular. So I just think this is going to be different. We're in a groove right now, about to go home. Um, you know, I mean, it's like hey, that game is done and over with. But I don't want them to forget that game. I hope they don't. I want them to keep that on their mind. Because the thing is that I hope that pushes them to play with an edge, just like they did with the Spurs on tonight. But they're gonna need that same energy and more with better teams. So I mean, the thing is, it was that game was a bad game, but I think it was very much needed in a weird sense, so that we could really get over that hump. Because now's that time. It's like it's either now or never. But I think they can use that and do something about it. Show up and show out. Because the thing is, this team needs to take a turn and be ready for the bright lights. If we're talking about the playoffs is the brightest. That's where you make your name. That's where you make your mark. That's where, the lights are really shining. That's Hollywood, I guess. You know what I'm saying? They have to know how to play when the stage is at its biggest. If we want them to go far in the playoffs, this is what's coming. So, I mean, yeah, I embrace this stuff. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's change the narrative and show up and show out and get the win.
Most definitely. And with the win tonight, that moves the Pels up in the standings in the West.
That's
We are
good. Oh,
now
yeah.
in seventh place in the Western Conference. 16 and 11. And if you look, I mean, we're really not too far from everybody else.
Yeah,
Some of
we
these
in the thick
guys,
of things.
oh yeah, some of these guys played more games than us though. So I mean, we played more games than them. So we definitely have an opportunity to pass up a few teams, and some teams, if they continue on their trajectory, might still stay in front of us. But I don't anticipate the Pels staying at 7 for long. As you're looking at a team like the LA Clippers, it's 15-10. You got Sacramento, you got Denver at 17-10, Oklahoma at 16-8, Minnesota at 19-5. So, like you say, Lex, we in the thick of things. We right there. With that, you know, being said, looking at how the Pels are playing, we've seen them I feel like at our lowest, right? And we've seen the Pels, a version of them as you seen tonight. Even though my man Sean would disagree. Sean say, we still ain't that team. Well, what team would that be, Sean? I mean, we put up 146 points on y'all. Like you had a
Nah,
bird's eye view,
no,
and you
wait,
still
wait.
hating.
DC. I
What's
mean,
up?
he's right. He's right.
No,
He's
I'm,
right.
I'm just trying to figure out what team aren't we, and
Well,
what
I
team
mean,
are we? Because that I was getting to a question for you, and
uh,
where you think we gonna land up when it's all said and done in the standings? But go ahead and reply to Sean. And
I already replied to him, but I basically said, I mean, hey man, we're not where we want to be at.
okay,
We ain't where we want to be at. Like, and I've been saying it. Like, this team has to mentally get stronger. This team has to mentally be battle tested in order to get to the next plateau. If we're trying to really do some things, be a legitimate contender in the playoffs, it's a marathon. We're not there yet because the thing is, we haven't put up a large sample size of being like considered or being in the discussion of being that type of team. So the thing is, we got work to do. We have to be consistent. This Pels team has not been consistent, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that, being honest with ourselves. Like, this is good that we're on a 4-game winning streak, but we haven't accomplished anything still.
hmm
That's not an opinion, that's a fact. So we have work to do. And the thing is, we're taking steps towards that, but we're not there yet. So I mean, he's right. I mean, it may be funny because obviously he's a Spurs fan, but I mean, it's just really, aside from that, I mean, it's just being real. I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at the fact that, what are we trying to do? And it's like I've said before, we can't get too high, can't get too low. We have to stay even keel and understand that, hey, this team hasn't accomplished anything. You got to keep working. You got to build consistency. You got to get mentally tougher. And I still think about that statement that Draymond said, this team ain't built like that. I got an issue with that statement. We need to start getting built that way so this team can be a contender. You know?
yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but I beg to differ on one point. And the point I beg to differ on, Lex, is all that BS Sean talking about. Tonight we is that team, baby. We put up 146 points tonight. But you are absolutely correct with us being inconsistent, um, not always being the same team we saw tonight. And you're not gonna score 146 points every night. You know that. But just the way that we play tonight, we don't consistently play that way all the time. We hit these stretches when things get rough, and we kind of get off track. But I think the Pels are moving into a territory of understanding or learning from their shortcomings, because I've seen extreme adversity hit the Pels over this last 2 to 3 weeks, from the Lakers game and the way they're talking about Zion and all of that nonsense. And I think they've handled it as best as you could possibly handle it. And that shows to me some growth, a lack of maturity, I mean, not a lack of, but it shows growth, maturity, mental toughness. It shows a lot of these things that Draymond points out as us not being built like that, right? It shows that there is an aspect of this team that is built like that, but you have to do it consistently. You can't shrink in the face of certain competition, certain huge moments, and that's what we're looking to see from them consistently. But a lot of it, not an excuse, because it is what it is. But a lot of it is these guys really haven't played as much time together as we really feel like they have. When you actually look at the reality of things, of all the time that Zion missed, Bi missed, CJ that had 2 damn collapsed lungs, we still don't know what they look like with Larry Nance added into this equation, because I'm sure we'll find a way to utilize him too. Trey has missed significant time this year, so it's all of this gumbo we cooking, man. It's still on the stove. It's still on the stove. Now the burner ain't even turned off. You ain't letting it sit. It ain't set overnight. You ain't tasted it the next day. It's still a lot going on. There's still a lot of pieces to this puzzle that we're figuring out. So I will say, yeah, we're not the best team in the league, but I think the Pels are right there in it. Nobody's really ran away with anything in the West at this point. I mean, you got a team like Boston, man. You see what they're doing over there. It's just crazy. But you got the Suns, who everybody would want to crown, who just can't seem to stay healthy. Minnesota is playing well. You still have the defending champs, which at times they look like giving up that Brown brother. That looked like it might have been a bit of a mistake. They look like they could use him over there. But you still got the Clippers. We don't know what they're going to turn into. You got Dallas, who's obviously right there, playing a lot more like what you would expect them to be, other than last year, the up and coming OKC Thunder. The Sacramento Kings, who I think we're better than. That's the one outlier. But these other 5 teams, like I still ain't mentioned the Rockets. They don't look horrible either. And you still got the Lakers. So it's a lot. It's a lot that the Pels are stacked up against. And then if you look really, really way down somewhere at the bottom, I don't even think it's on the screen. Let me turn up. Oh, the Spurs. The Spurs are right there. They're all the way at the bottom at 4-21. So I'm sure they're not gonna be that team for a long time, Sean. Y'all keep building Voltron, and maybe you maybe about, what you say, maybe 4 draft picks away, about 4 seasons, 3 maybe, be in the conversation. Well, we'll see. A couple of years at some point, but I really realistically I see the Pels being able to jump into that top 4. I need to see more. Not sure where they'll be at. I see them realistically being able to get up there. I like OKC, but I think at some point they might take a little bit of a dip. I think Dallas is official, but the Clippers, not quite sure on them. Always injury concerns. Denver, I think, will definitely be somewhere up there. So I think you're looking at either Dallas, Minnesota, a little bit of that getting swapped around. OKC maybe losing some ground. Denver maybe going up. I can't never count out champions, especially not till the playoffs. They usually fare well in the regular season. But I think the Pels can make it to being a top 3 team. Don't want to say 1 or 2. I'm not sure. But if they can continue to play like I saw them play tonight against top tier talent, shit, I think so. I think they definitely can be a top seed in the West. But they got to do it consistently, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they can definitely cover some ground this month. And I think with the racking up those wins, that boosts confidence. Guys will be in a better rhythm. And really, I mean, they really do have a chance to just, rise up in the standings. They really do. That's why, I said in the last show that shoot, I would love to see them go on a 10-game winning streak, at least. Now, if they get more wins, I'm not against that, but What? I'm just saying at least 10. I really feel like they can do that.
We can't get greedy yet, Lex.
I don't know. I mean, hey, I like to speak things into existence. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that. But the
Right.
thing is like this is the month to really take advantage. You know what I'm saying? If they really play to their fullest potential, we can get that. But I think my biggest thing is, and y'all already know, December 31st. That game right there
Mm.
is circled because that game right there, we really need to do something great on that day. Really do. If y'all don't know what happened, who we facing on that day, you can go look at the schedule.
Let's pull it up. Let's go ahead and pull it on up, Lex, and see who we are facing on December 31st, so we can make it known for everybody who don't know. Cause I definitely know,
We got
and
some.
I know they know. You
Yeah,
know,
and that's the day after LeBron's birthday. So I
mm,
really want to give him a beautiful, beautiful birthday gift. But
and
he
there it
probably
is.
won't like it.
There it is. Go ahead and circle it on your calendars, family.
Yeah,
We'll be playing the Los Angeles Lakers at 6 p.m. And boy, they're in trouble. I know what you say, Lex. We won primetime games. You are correct.
yeah.
This year, it's not as much of a problem as it's been in the
And
past.
that's at the Pels spot. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah.
Let's
And guess
go.
what, Lex? And it's not prime time.
You know what? But you know what? That's a mistake. It is prime time.
It
It is
is?
prime time. Oh yeah, it's prime time for
Okay.
the Pels.
I got you.
Because the thing is, trust me, they're gonna bring this game up on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we need to show up and show out and send a message and a redemption game, uh, a retaliation game, a vengeful game. It's all them things.
Okay.
They about to, see the Pelicans' true colors on that day.
I definitely agree, and I'm gonna up you one, Lex. I'm gonna say you
Okay.
should also circle your calendar for December 28th because
December.
the Pels have a serious problem with
Oh
being
yeah,
able to beat the Utah Jazz since they got rid of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. You would think it would be an issue with those two guys, but their brand of basketball and those versatile tall defenders they have pose a problem for us. So I would love to see them exercise those Utah Jazz demons going into that Lakers game and give them even more confidence. And then just looking at the schedule, we got Memphis, we got Cleveland, you got Houston, then Memphis again, Utah, the Lakers, before we get a little bit of a break with Brooklyn. Then we play the Minnesota Timberwolves. Nice little stretch right there.
yeah.
Cleveland has been in shambles lately. They got some issues going on, and I think Mobley has just went down. I believe with a season-ending injury, or if it isn't season-ending,
I
he's gonna
think
be out
it's
for
a
some time.
meniscus on.
It's a
Yeah,
meniscus.
he's had
Is it
knee
torn
surgery.
or is strained?
Um, well, it's a meniscus, so he'll be back. They said 4 to 6 weeks, and then what is his, Darius Garland has a facial fracture,
Oh
so
wow.
he's out. He's out as well. So they're down some key. Well, what key starters?
Yeah. That's two of the guys that make that whole thing go over there.
Yeah,
Darius Garland is awesome, and Mobley is probably their most versatile player. Um, so that's definitely a game you could get. Houston, who's playing well, and since Udoka came over there,
yeah,
we last time we played Houston, they got us. In a game that could have cost us, but we still wound up being in that in season tournament because it was an in season tournament game, and Houston
yeah.
got us. So That's
I
another
think
team you can't take lightly.
we can get Houston though. We
Yeah.
just have to outwork them. They work they work very hard. Um we just have to outwork them. And really I think that's in a lot of cases with the Pels. We can't let teams outwork us. We have the talent, but we have to work just as hard. We know the thing about, talent and working hard. You know, hard workers, beats, good talent. So if we can just mix those two consistently, we shouldn't have a problem with a lot of these teams because we can ball with any of them. We like I said, we showed that starting off with that game where Borrego coached with Dallas, that second of that back to back. Um, you know, we've shown that we can beat big time teams. We just the problem's been consistency and uh playing starting off the game from the jump with a lot of energy. But once we tackle those things, I mean, it's not hard to beat these teams, man. You just got to go at them and be aggressive.
Yeah, yeah, they can, and this is a nice test because I think there's teams that they're talented enough to where if you beat them, it's like okay, we can build on that. But they're also in a spot where they're all dealing with some issues. Even Utah, you know, they got what's your boy name they got from Atlanta? They didn't
John
just put him on
Collins,
John Collins. They didn't put him on
yeah,
the trading block.
and Colin Sexton,
Colin Saxton and Laurie Markkinen too. I'm hearing whispers
yeah.
about
Well, a lot
possible.
of a lot of contending teams are looking at him
Hmm.
because it's like the thing is, I mean, Laurie Markkinen, he's doing his thing, but it's like, where's it going? Utah's not about to do anything. So trading him to a contending team would actually be better for his career. And I think that's the way that they're thinking because Utah's not about to do nothing. I mean, they're just not good enough.
Yeah, they're not, but for some reason, Lex, they've had our number.
I
I don't
mean,
know
yeah.
what it
I
is.
mean,
It's a tough matchup for us for
it-
some strange reason.
well, it's like that sometimes, I mean, shoot, we have Sacramento's number, but where Sacramento at? Aren't they in the top six or something in the West? And they've been up there for a while.
Yeah, yeah, but for Sacramento, yeah, we had some battles with them as well, and then we finally overtaken that. I guess this year you can say we've snatched that away. But even with Sacramento, it was always tough games that come down to the wire. You win one, we win one.
Well,
The
I'm
Utah
talking about.
Jazz, they did swept us last year.
Yeah, I know.
And
I
I
was
think
talking
they
about
already got a
this
victory
season
on.
because I mean Utah swept us for 2 games, obviously, but we've swept
Yeah,
Sacramento for 3 games.
we've played Utah twice already,
Yeah.
and we've lost to them both times this year. So to me, if we want to be that team that I believe we can be, you know, we got to be Utah, which is a perfect build up to that game on New Year's Eve, the Lakers. I think the
Yeah.
Pels are going to win both of those games. To be honest with you, the way they're playing right now, I see them going on this winning streak that they should go on. That we all expect them to go on, that they need to go on, that we want them to go on. I see them doing that. Not sure how many games. Um, if they can definitely go undefeated to the Lakers game, that would be awesome. And win that game, that would be major. And I think that gives them momentum to keep going. You know, proving you can play the way we played against a Spurs team who obviously, they're not in contention for anything this year. They're still young. Um, trying to build something there. If we can play with the same level of dominance or at least competitiveness and win some games against these top contending teams. I think it does a lot for our confidence. And I think it also does a lot to strike some fear in other teams around the league. So you're right. You're right, Damien. We definitely got we gotta go on a winning streak. And we haven't really done things like that since the days of David West and Chris Paul's, in your words. Yeah, I hear you. Q. Big Q, but you meant to put me. Gotcha. But the Pels need to prove they can go on a long winning streak, something we haven't seen since David West and Chris Paul days. Levels to this. Absolutely correct. You know what I'm saying? But if the Pels do go on that winning streak and do become what I believe they will this year, that would definitely put them in as a top three team in the West. And we've been here for the last 3 years, waiting to see all this potential finally turn into something, and you see spots like you saw today. Now from this moment forward, it's just all about consistency. And I think the main thing is keeping the main thing. Well, energy, effort, turning defense to offense, keeping the ball moving. If we can consistently do that every game, whether we win or lose, I think the outcome will be us being a top 3 team in the West. Any closing remarks, Lex, before we go on and get up out of here?
Just stay the course. Don't get too high, don't get too low, and let's keep building. It is a marathon. We still got work to do. Still got a lot of work to do. So that's basically it. Go
Okay.
Pels.
Go Pels. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate all of y'all being here. My man T, Denard, Stephanie Wilson, Tidra, Wallace, Melanin Guy 504. No longer wild like cyanide. Jay Carvello. See Trey, Damien, Bird Talk, Elite Goods, my man. Big Sean, Jordan G, Slim South 504, Sleep. What's that? Shout out to Mr. Bird. See Jerome. Who else we got in the house, man? Who else we got? I think that's everybody. Jerry, how could I forget Jerry, man? Can't forget Jerry G. Jerry G. Porter. Shout out to Jerry, man. And did I miss somebody? Young City. I knew I was missing somebody. My man, Young City, in here down at the end of the chat. Martin, J Black in the house. Todd with the facts. What's that then, brother? Shout out to all y'all, man. Glad having y'all tonight. We got a lot to be proud, happy about, a lot to look forward to. Pels and the Saints win, man. It's always an awesome day when that happens. The Pelicans are moving on up, man. 4-game win streak. Breaking records and stuff. So we got a lot to still do. But the Pels are showing excellent promise that they'll be able to do that. So with that, I'm going to say, please like, share, and subscribe to the show. Because sharing is caring. Y'all know that.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
And with that, I'm going to leave y'all, man. Until next time, go Pels.